And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. And of course, we are broadcasting live from our home studio here in the beautiful Willamette Valley of Oregon, where we are greeted by one of these late summer days, lots of sunshine, a little bit of heat. And we hope that wherever you call home, all is well in your life. We know that the vast majority of you that have tuned into today's show, you're here for one reason: to experience a more elevated state of consciousness. Good for you. Great choice. What we refer to as your divine nature. Because if for no other reason, you just got tired of feeling so alone, tired of feeling disconnected from the passion of your own soul. And the emerging alternative to the presence of your soul, well, of course, that would be the AIs. They represent in and of themselves a digital version of a human being, one that you can control, manage, or is it the other way around? Interesting. Over all these lifetimes, the humans need to feel connected. Well, it can literally wear you down, making the human experience a little less attractive, while living inside all those patterns of behavior that deny you an abundance of new opportunities. So we come together every month to, yes, of course, feel inspired by Michael's message, but to also act as supports to each other. In part, simply by sharing our light, the light of our soul, so that we can feel that type of connection, whether you're feeling it within yourself or feeling it radiating from this whole group that's here today. If you're willing to take just a moment to step outside of your own thinking process, you might be surprised at what you feel. There is a lot of energy being shared right now. And that should tell you something about who you really are. It doesn't matter if you're watching the live version of this show or if you choose to tune in later, as many of you do. The opportunities we are speaking of, they don't rely on time and space to help define them. They are simply waiting for each of you to allow them to be in your life. Your mind has spent a lot of energy searching for that missing piece to your own story, to help give it a sense of purpose. But all that changes the moment your thinking process starts to serve your being part. Some would suggest that relying on our light to change our personal experience, well, that represents a very passive response to all the problems that face this planet. And even if that approach did work, it takes so long for the human being to begin to integrate such an awareness. But it is the radiance of our soul that offers something that has been missing on this planet for a very long time. The presence of consciousness. And it is consciousness that creates everything we know to be real. Its impact on any given reality, it isn't based on the quantity of people that embrace such a presence, but the quality of light being shared. So that makes it, well, at least from our perspective, kind of important. If we're looking at creating a more sustainable world, and here at Ancient Wings, in the teachings of Michael, we're all about the presence of consciousness. By embracing our natural state as sovereign creators of our own experience, it brings me a lot of joy to simply share how the presence of my own soul and my oversoul called Michael has changed my life in ways that my human self could have never imagined. My initial experience of Michael was so overwhelming. It felt like I had no choice but to share this experience with all of you, because it's also your birthright to experience your own divine nature in your own unique way. You don't have to earn it, but you do need to allow it. And for a lot of us, from our human perspective, the art of allowing, well, it pushes some of those buttons inside of us, because it puts you in a place that can feel really vulnerable, that can feel really challenging for our human self to trust that it's safe when it's so wide open. It's safe to allow life to serve it. Because for the most part, our human self doesn't really know what it is allowing. It knows what it wants. It wants to feel safe. It knows what it needs. It needs to feel supported. But when it's feeling disconnected from our soul, what it wants and what it needs, for the most part, appears to come from outside of itself. So the art of being in receivership of your own soul changes all of that. And what you will discover will change your life forever. Inside of each and every one of us, there exists an unlimited flow of energy just waiting to support you. If, and that's a big if, you're open to receiving it. If you're open to changing your story so that you do receive it. So here at Ancient Wings, we offer a variety of ways to help people who have awakened to the soul to deepen that connection in a way that feels tangible, physical, so as to serve not only our own sense of freedom, but also those that have yet to awaken on this planet. We believe it takes both. Those that are willing to share the very presence of consciousness by spending some quality time throughout their day doing what? Actually, not doing anything. But to your mind, the art of doing or not doing sounds really unproductive. But from my own experience, it's during these unproductive moments that you begin to experience the beauty of life all around you. Not doing allows your intuition to now step forward. It allows the being part of you to emerge from deep within yourself, whose very radiance also helps to support those that have also chosen to be actively involved with helping to create a more sustainable reality on this planet. We know that for a lot of you that are watching today's show, it's really challenging to feel a deep passion for this human experience, for being on this planet. Most of you are ultra sensitive to all the power games being played out every single day. For a lot of you, it's like watching a soap opera filled with a lot of actors that are hungry for attention. So just from your human perspective, there's a tendency to want to shut down from a place of survival, to numb yourself to what feels so toxic to your own heart, simply because all these power games don't feel natural to you. As a soul being, we spend the vast majority of our time in the non-physical realms. As you left the womb of your own mother, you started to feel the overwhelming state of this human family. You started to feel trapped inside a very dense, closed system of reality. So for many of you, you greeted this planet as an infant with a loud scream for help. But underneath all the drama, we have always believed that over 90% of all human beings are heart-centered. They actually care about life. They just got seduced like all of us. They got hypnotized by a mental construct of reality. One that places your thinking process in front of your own perceptions. And yet here we are, one more time, living on this planet during the most important time of this human experience. Why is that? Are you a glutton for punishment? Why on earth would you choose to experience such an intense reality? That's a great question. So on that note, this feels like a very good time for my soul to step aside and allow my oversoul, Michael, to step forward, which, by the way, for all of you that are new to our work, this relationship to your oversoul is also available to you. You don't have to earn it, but you do need to allow it. On that note, let's take a deep breath together as I once again allow this transition to take place. Indeed. Indeed, it is I, Michael. Thank you, Robert. A warm welcome to all of you that we have the honor of serving. We are witnessing from our vantage point one of the most intense inner transformations we have ever seen on this planet, on so many levels, which allows you to trust more and more on your soul's presence. And Robert asked a very good question. Why are you here? Well, from my perspective, it's because you are one of the few that had the courage to step forward in the non-physical realms before Earth was even created, to be of service to help bring creation back into balance by acknowledging the roles of both the being and doing parts that exist inside of you. And now that you're here, why would you also choose to experience being human in a more elevated state of consciousness by embodying the very presence of your divine self while coexisting with the majority of your fellow human beings who are, for the most part, completely unconscious of the presence of consciousness? It would have been far easier for any of you to simply embrace creating an improved version of your human self. There are millions of people doing that right now inside of a variety of self-improvement courses. Any one of them can help you change your life for the better. But is that enough for those of you that we are serving? Apparently not. For so many of you that are here today, offering an improved version of your human self feels like more like a Band-Aid and less like freedom. If you're feeling that something inside of you is still missing, because you realize that the human part of you is not the one that incarnated on this planet. We have the honor of sitting in front of those today that also sat at the feet of Yeshua, at the feet of Buddha, at the feet of many other fully awakened human beings, feeling in your heart a deep resonance with what they were sharing, while your mind was trying to figure out how to become what they were. What must you do as a human being to become enlightened? In their own unique way, they shared with all of you a living example for all to see. And as that relates to the collective consciousness of this human family, they offered a way to be in this world, but not of it. Their presence, their teaching touched your heart in such a profound way. You can still feel it inside of you as we speak, as if sitting at the feet of these fully awakened human beings was just a day ago. Does it not feel that way for some of you? It happened just a moment ago. So you got how to be in this world, whether you like it or not. If you have a physical body, you're here, but not of it? What exactly does that mean? Because on one level, that just feels to some of you like you're bailing out. It sounds like a huge cop-out. It sounds like you're placing the responsibility for all the problems that face this human race on others. And there are many problems, are there not? But those that feel called to become actively involved, they need your support now more than ever. So some of you realized the cause of so many of these perceived problems run pretty deep inside of every human being. Some of you started to wake up to the realization that so many of these unresolved issues are not confined to this human family. And for those of you that have been following the teachings of Michael, we suggested that these issues also reside in your cosmic story. So what did you do when you incarnated on this planet? Well, of course, you brought them with you. Why would you do such a thing? Well, because Earth, in and of itself, offers a very intense, yes, but very direct reflection of how you feel about you, let alone sharing that with over 8 billion other beings having a similar experience. Earth was actually created to give you this type of in-your-face kind of experience. Not to rub it in your face that you are feeling conflicted about who you are, but to offer a very unique opportunity to acknowledge, to finally acknowledge your own reflection, to acknowledge and take responsibility for your own creations. That relationship to yourself was missing in the non-physical realms. And that is the reason why together some of you helped to create this earth as it relates to your oversoul. So we introduced here in Ancient Wings an unplugged way of life. Instead of communicating energetically by projecting all of your unfulfilled desires into your own creations and into other people, we encouraged you to cut those horizontal cords between your family, friends, and neighbors, because it not only violates your own sovereignty, but theirs as well, so as to not process their energy. That choice took a huge load off of your body, which allowed it to create its own sense of balance as it relates to your own energy. We asked Robert to post a free 90-minute audio recording titled An Unplugged Life on the homepage of our website, because it represents, for a lot of you, a new foundation. One that we presented through Robert when he was acting as an energy healer many years ago, to help all of you realize energy doesn't exist outside of you. There is no universal life force, but there is the gift all of us inherited. The moment the original self set itself free as endless versions of itself, that gift represented your own unique presence or energy, which, if you're open to receiving such a gift, it will change your life in a very dramatic way. So yes, listening to the recording as it relates to cleaning up your relationship to energy itself, you will start to see why collectively this human family is so addicted to extracting or consuming so much energy from this planet to support itself. But it really isn't as simple as it sounds, because a lot of your personal relationships are with people you really care about and are also being supported unconsciously by relying on the energy from each other to help support your life. So acting as supports to each other now as a sovereign being offers a radically different approach. We considered it to be much more honest and a direct way to communicate. So being on this planet, but not of it, the not of it starts to take form when you clean up how you're relating to energy. But it doesn't end there. Now you're in a place to finally allow the presence of your own divinity to start to emerge from within, which represents your soul's presence, not from outside of you, but from within. And the inside we are referring to is not inside your physical body, but inside you. And as you begin to allow such a presence to be present, more changes start to unfold. The purity of your own light starts to release a variety of energies inside your physical body. All of those energies you inherited from being human. It represents not only an emotional release, but physical as well. And it is the physical part that can be the hardest. There are layers upon layers of energies that are stuck inside the cellular structure of these beautiful physical bodies. But if you're truly devoted to not be of it, what does that really mean? It represents a conscious choice to not be inside of anyone else's energy, but your own. How rare is that? How many human beings can you point to that have embraced such an experience and stayed in their physical body? There are some that insist that if you want to leave this third dimensional realm, you must die. But what we are suggesting represents a very different kind of experience. There are now over 22,000 human beings on this planet as we speak who have not only experienced the presence of their soul, but have embodied it. That choice has greatly impacted their experience of time and space, gravity itself, some of whom have asked for our support and guidance. All of them went through the steps we just referred to, the hardest being the last phase, allowing your soul's presence to now change the physical body into a more quasi-physical form with the presence of the light of their soul, their light body. And they would be the first to admit it isn't easy. It represents an ongoing, constantly changing type of experience. And there is no end point, simply because your own energy is always changing and always expanding. It represents a type of evolution to what it means to be human. Why would anyone choose this experience for themselves when so many other options are available to them, including a relationship with AIs that can be managed by your own mind? Why this, when one of the choices is to simply leave your body and take this experience with you into the non-physical realms, either from a physical death or through an ascension process? Those that did ascend are, of course, called ascended masters. All of them share something in common with all of you. They too experience being human. They didn't come from a higher state of existence or dimension to do all of you a big favor by being here with you. They share the same story all of you brought with you from the stars. Every one of them had their own unique experience that eventually led to not being of this planet in a very tangible way. It is the path that a lot of you have also embraced, But unlike your fellow masters, so many of you have this overriding passion to stay on this planet as an ascended master by embodying the light of your soul, to actually experience being human, perhaps for the first time, from a place of joy. Let's take a deep breath there. Indeed. Most of you that are here today, you have incarnated on this planet well over 1,000 times. Not because you enjoy all the pain and suffering that has started to define being human. You keep coming back for the opportunity to change your reliance to our cosmic story. One that had us feeling that we had become disconnected from the original self, which speaks directly about the loneliness some of you feel as a human being. One that has us playing a game called Let's Pretend We're Not God Too. Just look at the world around you. The family of humanity has been hypnotized by this very game. It's become very, very popular. But that too is but a reflection of the same game being played out in the non-physical realms. And we say that to so many of you that are here today that are also new to our service, to help you feel in your heart how remarkable you are, how divinely incredible you are as a soul being. The fact that you're even here on this planet should tell you a lot about who you really are. Because when you're not of it, meaning you no longer are willing to play that game, then you realize that the presence of the original self in the form of your soul, at its core, it's already self-realized. It's already enlightened. It's already relying on its own energy to create whatever experience it desires for itself. And it is using the earth as its witness, without any agenda and without using force. The very presence of your soul is communicating energetically, loud and clear, here on earth, for all of creation to hear. What? Game over. Game over. It's time to come back to your natural state as a sovereign creator of your own experience, as being the original self too, but with your name on it. It is my passion to be of service to the light of your soul, in service to the eternal flame that exists inside of all of you. I am grateful for the opportunity to share my presence in this way with Robert. It's been quite the adventure, to say the least, has it not? As each of you began to emerge from a collective reality, both on and off this planet, that denies such a simple yet profound truth. The original self set itself free long ago from being all is one to now being individuated versions of itself in countless forms. Each of you represent one of those versions of God. But nothing really changes if it's but a concept, if it's but an idea. Nothing really changes if you deny yourself the experience of being that too. So, Earth was created not to be a penal colony for those that were cast out from the heavens, although it can feel that way. But who creates these kind of stories? Or better yet, who benefits from telling those stories? We'll leave it at that. What all of you are seeing playing out on this planet are some of the same beings that brought with them the same power games they were playing in the stars. Games that require others to play the role of the victim or the oppressor. Earth was created with an open door policy. Any non-physical being that was willing to experience itself inside a physical body was welcome to participate, no matter what their state of consciousness is, and experience their own relationship to energy itself. Some have settled for a very polarized experience and called it normal, by relying on the doing part while denying the existence of their being part, while others like yourself started to allow over countless lifetimes your own divine nature to coexist with your human self, embracing both the doing and being parts inside of you. In this lifetime, many came to realize that your natural state embraces a free-flowing energy. Reclaiming this natural state is not for the faint of heart, as most of you have discovered, because you have become seduced, hypnotized by your thinking process, the doing part, which created a very closed system of reality to support itself while looking for energy outside of itself, which gave birth to all the power games that exist on and off of this planet, which made beings such as myself appear to be higher than you, appear being the key word here. Many beings like myself didn't become so enamored with the game called let's pretend we're not the original self. Our presence, our voice became very distant, like a whisper. It appeared to some that we had returned to the heavens. But that has changed. It is changing inside of all of you. By being on this planet as a human being, but not of it, simply means you're no longer attracted to playing that game, pretending that you're not God too. But you still want to experience being human. But now, with the presence of your soul, my friends, there is more light on this planet as we speak than ever before. And we're not referring to light as being good and the darkness as being bad. The light of consciousness creates reality. The dark simply refers to those realities that are unknown to your light. Realities that are simply waiting for your light and its energy to explore it. That, my friends, represents the original passion within the original self. To know itself as countless parts of itself. That would be you and me. Let's take a deep breath. We know the world around you is changing faster than ever before. For those that we have the honor of serving, you are not here to do battle. You are not. You are here to lay your sword down, to walk away from the role of the spiritual warrior. You're not here to twist anyone's arm to try to convince them of what you now realize. You are here to offer hope in the form of your radiance. How you choose to express the presence of your soul is, of course, entirely up to you. Much of our work is to encourage each of you to allow a part of your soul to share its voice, as Robert is doing right now, without calling it channeling. It's your voice too. Own it. From our perspective, channeling has played a vital role on this planet for a very, very long time. But to the millions of people who are just awakening, who are just beginning to question their own reality, they are now more open to the concept of a more elevated human experience. But for that to be real, they need to feel the presence of your own soul, not from a mountaintop, but while you're shopping for groceries, walking in the park, or driving down the road. And to those that are new to our work, welcome. Welcome. Our approach to being of service to your freedom is not the only way. We will never say that. There are many ways. But if you resonate with what we offer, we will be honored to serve you. You will come to realize that the perception of lack in any form is not real. It is an illusion. When you embrace your own energy as being enough, you will be able to rely on your energy for everything you choose to experience. The same energy that you feel in all the natural elements on this planet. The same energy that supports your oceans, that moves the wind and rain, that bubbles under the crust of this planet. That same energy exists right now inside of you. When you disconnect yourself from all the energy games, all the power games, all the roles that had you playing the victim or the dictator, you'll become aware of this very pure and innocent version of you, whose very presence will at first overwhelm your human self. It represents that eternal part of you. But by its own grace, it will never force itself upon you. You're welcome to pray all you want, but until you actually allow it to be present, it will remain in your hopes and dreams. Many at this time have started living with this very presence. Because this is indeed the second coming of Christ consciousness. It's taken form inside of all of you. And it is inviting all of you to do one thing. Are you ready to stop pretending you're not God too? Have you had enough of all the drama, all the stories, all the pain and suffering? Are you ready to reclaim your freedom to be a conscious creator of your own experience? If this is your moment to make that real, allowing the presence of the original self to be you too in the form of your soul, what is waiting for you is a love unknown to most human beings. It is a quality of love that doesn't need to be loved back to feel complete. The presence of another human being will never complete you, but your soul will. Imagine sharing that in an intimate relationship with another human being. With the presence of your soul now embodied, it is a shame that so few have embraced it, because it offers the very freedom your heart yearns to feel. But it also places you outside the game we are referring to. It places you on this planet grounded inside your physical body, but not of it. Let's take another deep breath. The world as you know it will never be the same. It is changing in response to the light that you have allowed. Not everyone embraces that change in this lifetime. Have compassion. Have compassion. When you need a break from all the turmoil and all the drama being played out on the planet, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It is here that you will find me, Michael, standing right next to you in a non-physical form. I'm not playing the part as a guardian angel, but I'm willing to be your friend. This is the time all of us have been waiting for. This is why Earth was created. The opportunity to experience true freedom has never been so ripe, with so many potentials. And so it begins. In this moment, the life you always wanted, but forgot how to manifest it. Another deep breath. My friends, we are looking forward to our upcoming iMystic workshop in just 10 days. I love the opportunity to spend 3 consecutive days with all of you. And of course, in this iMystic workshop, I'm joined by my friend Yeshua, who has volunteered to also answer some of your questions during our group session, to help you to reclaim your freedom to be a conscious creator. You don't have to earn it. It's your birthright to receive it. To also be divine inside of this human experience. Imagine that. Being human and being divine too. Until then, be well, my friends. Take care of yourself. All of our blessings.